What's up, party people? It's Chris with Pro Photo, and this is Geared Up. This is our weekly live broadcast where we talk about photography, lighting, tips and tricks, all kinds of fun stuff. And so you can leave your questions, your comments in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer them. But let's get into what we're talking about today. And today, we're talking about Rembrandt light. So over the last few Geared Ups, I mean, we've kind of interspersed them. We talked about different lighting patterns. We've talked butterfly light and then kind of amped it up to clamshell lighting. And then last week, we actually talked about split light. And so today, we're actually going to take split lighting, which essentially is, you know, you're standing here and your light is directly across from you. We used a flag to make the split light, but if you're just using the light modifier itself to do it, you would just have the light to the side like this. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take that light and we're just gonna move it ever so slightly out, not quite 45 degrees, but ever so slightly out, because now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this light to come across the face, hit the nose, and broadcast a small triangle on the opposite cheek from the side that the light is actually on. And that is your quintessential Rembrandt light, is getting that little triangle light. The actual lighting style is called chiaroscuro. It's just in Italian, it kind of translates out to light and dark. And that light and darkness that chiaroscuro is talking about is the light and dark on your subject. It's not light and dark between your subject and the background. So like if you know, I'm lit the way that I'm lit right now with the studio lights, but the background is black, that's not it. It really has to do with playing with light and shadow on the actual subject itself. Something that Rembrandt light does a really, really good job with. The cool thing about it is it's very dramatic light, but it has this way of feeling really natural. So it's a really, really beautiful lighting pattern. Generally, you don't want the triangle to get too big. You kind of don't want it, you know, wider than the nose or taller than the nose. You kind of want it, it's supposed to be a relatively small triangle. Sometimes people kind of kick that light around really far and, you know, the cheek becomes really illuminated. There is a triangle there. It's not necessarily, at that point, you're starting to kind of kick out a lot of the shadow on the side of the face, in which that technique isn't technically the same thing anymore. Because again, chiaroscuro, light and dark, you want to have that light and dark on your subject. So that being said, that's the technical side of Rembrandt lighting and chiaroscuro. So let's actually do the fun portion of it.
Jump in there.
And we're gonna take some actual photos. Also, just heads up, it's like crazy stormy here today, which means we could have the power go out any moment. There's some serious thunder, and we have our little rugrats right there because they're scared of thunder, appropriately enough. So we're gonna try to.
How do you spell that Italian line?
Oh, I can't spell it. It's like C-H-A-R. Oh, wait a minute.
Turn the volume down, sweetheart.
Yeah. So it's like C-H-E. I can't even spell it. You have to look it up, but it means light and dark. So we are going to take some photos now. So let's just talk real quick lighting setup, because people are always, obviously we're doing this with lighting, so you want to see what we have going on. So for our main light that we're going to be using is this right here. It's an A10. Hey, it's Kate. It's an A10 with the Click Softbox Octa. I really like this thing. It's easy to set up and break down. And I like being able to roll it around and kind of point the light wherever I want it. And then just to bring up some of the shadows a little bit, so it's not so we don't lose any information on the dark side. I have a 3x4 RFI softbox with, it's mounted to a B1X on the other side. So A10 Click Softbox Octa, B1X, RFI 3x4. It's a really good fill light, especially for like headshots or like half body shots. I really, really like this thing. That's really nice. And then I have my 4x6, which is massive. It's my favorite. It's just gigantic. So we're gonna do that. On top of my camera, I have the Click Softbox. Hey, honey, could you sit down for me? Thank you. And we're gonna do this. Umar, what's up, dude? I see you out there on YouTube, in YouTube world.
Hey, you know I'm spelling it for you.
Chiaroscuro?
Yeah.
Kate is putting chiaroscuro, she corrected me, into the chat just so you can look that up. Camera settings are kind of my go-tos whenever we're shooting. Are again my favorite. So I like is that the, oh yeah, it's the BTS shot. It was freaking me out for a second. Let me go to full screen here. Cool. So camera settings, f8, ISO 160, 250th of a second. Again, I like those settings just because, one, I don't have to worry too much about missing focus, even though with f8 I'll probably miss it anyway. And I don't have to worry about my lights bleeding in. So, hey Lil, I need you to sit, hun.
She's good. She can stand right there. Just
Okay.
don't touch the buttons,
Yeah.
okay?
So, we have a munchkin climbing into the driver's seat.
She's assuming my position at the ATEM. So
Okay, cool.
We'll see what happens.
Cool. Are you ready? Here we go. So, lock eyes with your nose to your spot.
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1. So cool. So let's make sure that that's exactly where I want it to be. Perfect. Let's take another shot though.
Yeah.
Your eyes look a little drunkardly.
Yeah.
She might be a little sauced up this morning.
No, that is not true. That was this weekend.
Oh, gotcha.
Wait, what?
What? Who? All right, here we go. Cut the eyes back towards me. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we did not flash that time. Let's go again. 3, 2, 1.
I think
we're down. Did my battery down? My A10? Am I a dummy? Hang on just one second. Amazing. Not really sure what's happening, but let's do this again. So 3, 2, 1. That's better. Let's take one. Let's take one more. Maybe give me like a little more life in the mouth. It's a little flat. Oh,
thank you, Lil.
Thanks, Lil. We're getting a little direction from the producer over there in the chair.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Hey, no, sir. Cool. So let's bring this around so you can kind of see it. Actually, stay right there for just a second. I was thinking about this. So I want to do.
I got a thumbs up, guys.
Oh, we have a thumbs up. So she did a good job. All right, jump back in there one more time. I'm going to show you. So a little bit more to more of a 45 degree. So get your spot.
Okay,
Yeah, get your spot.
Okay.
Cool. Let's get the camera locked in. Shh. Let's get this locked in. And then I'm going to bring the light around a little bit. So once you start to kind of creep the light around, you're going to see that the triangle's going to get bigger on the face, and you start to lose some of that light and shadow. So this is kind of that 45 degrees that everyone's always like, oh, put the light at 45 degrees. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So I can actually show you what isn't technically Rembrandt light. All right. Thanks, Kate.
You got it.
Cool. We have munchkins on the move right now too, so we're having to we're just having to navigate all of this. Oh, and my camera, or I have like 90 cables. Sweet. Oh, and someone has some questions. Someone asked, what is the difference? Oh, that was Sebastian. What is the difference if you put a reflector instead of a fill light? It doesn't really matter. If you want to go reflector, if you only have one, some people only have one light, which is awesome. So if you only have one light, then a reflector will do a great job. And then the thing with the reflectors is you're just always kind of working how close or far away you want that reflector from your subject to bring the fill light up or push the fill light down. So a reflector does a great job. It's just one of those things, again, where and maybe it's a good idea to have it on something like a roller stand, like something that I have. That way you can kind of just keep rolling it in and pulling it back, trying to feather out that fill the way that you'd want it. So let's go and compare these two right here. So the here's where we were talking about here with the triangle on. Hey guys, shh, thank you. Here's where we go with the triangle right here on that opposite cheek. So it's a nice small triangle. It's not really long. It's about the same length as the nose, about the same width as the nose. It's really small and subtle. That light is, again, kind of pushed around. It's almost split light, but we just creep it around just a little bit more. And then you also have to pay attention to the way that you have your subject facing. So if like Kate was, dead on to the camera like I am to you right now, that light would be a little bit more over. Not quite that 45 that we were talking about for that second shot that you see there, but the light's gonna be a little bit further over compared to what you're seeing. But because she was positioned kind of turned, kind of, nose up here, I still need to make sure I'm there. So instead of having the light here, I just push it a little bit further. So it's really, the lighting position is going to have a lot to do with how you want your subject to be posed or facing. So that's one of those things you just want to look out for. Again, once you start getting over here and start pushing that light over to that 45 degrees, you're honestly starting to get more towards a Paramount light style. You can see just up underneath the nose here that there's all the butterfly light effect is almost, but the butterfly light is starting to creep in. Sorry, again.
You can't see him.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, I've got a, there's a miniature, yeah.
Pop out just
I saw it said, there's a miniature version of me dancing around in the background. There he is. Yeah, it's just me.
Okay,
it's just, he's interpretive dancing. So, with your with this right here, it's more of a Paramount style light, almost a butterfly type light, where it's starting to come. See how it's hitting the cheekbones. So it's really a dance between Rembrandt light and lighting patterns. As a matter of fact, it's kind of a fine dance between all of them because, I mean, honestly, if you're thinking about it, your split light's directly out to the side. Your Rembrandt's going to start creeping around right here, maybe another 20 degrees. And then once you kick it out to that 45, especially if the subject's looking at the light, that's kind of the Paramount butterfly look, is when the subject's face is the same direction as the actual light itself. So, I mean, just in that 5-degree angle, we've changed 3 different lighting patterns. So it's just one of those things where you really want to pay attention to the shadows, really want to pay attention to the highlights, and you really want, this is a good place too for modeling lights or continuous lights, because you can use that to kind of coax it around right where you want it and get exactly what you're looking for. But that's the difference between right here where you have the light pushed out 45 degrees and where you have it kind of peeled back almost to the split light level to where you're getting that nice little highlight on the cheek. And then again, you can see I didn't lose any detail in my shadows because I had my fill light bring that up. It's probably a little more contrasty on the screen than it is for me, but there is still detail here in the shadows on Kate. Does anyone have any questions?
A10 and softbox. Never afraid that the A10 drops out of the magnetic ring? Question mark.
No, the only things that you have to pay attention to with this thing, I know that I know that some people at ProPhoto don't like me doing the shake thing, but shaking the crap out of it. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, the only place where there's danger in this bumping something is once this is bent. If you just do this, that's easy to come off, and that's just leverage. So you just have to be careful with it there. But like actually on the ring itself, I mean, it's pretty. I don't know what to do. I mean, it's pretty strong. I mean, the fact that you can sit there and you can move this all around. I don't have it doesn't scare me. So if it does scare you, you could always get like a little like a piece of security string or something, or like a little security wire, and you could affix it like around the shoe here, and if something falls, at least it'll catch by the shoe. But I mean, we've had this thing since November.
Yeah.
Playing with it, and
we've been taking that one everywhere with us.
My A10's never fallen off of it, so I don't. It's not something that I worry about. So hopefully my shaking of the light gives you a little more confidence in its ability to hold. The magnets on the back of the Click softbox are huge. And actually, when I was in Sweden 2 weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
So when I was in Sweden 2 weeks ago, they actually showed me the new magnets. I was poking around in R&D, and they actually showed me the new magnets, and they're freaking massive. So like you only see the strip of them on the outside, but like all the way through, they're really, really big. So no, I'm not worried about it.
Nope.
I need to see if I had anything on. I set my phone down for the YouTube. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Gino said he looked up chiaroscuro is how you pronounce it.
Gotcha.
The treatment of light and shade in drawing and painting.
Yeah, so it's the treatment of light in drawing and painting and photography.
Yeah.
So
and in music as well.
Cool. Oh, cool, Sebastian. Sweet. I was actually able to answer all your questions. I anticipated what you're going to be asking. So, but that's pretty much it for Rembrandt light. Remember, it's really about maintaining the light and the shadow of your subject, not the light and the shadow of yourself, of your subject and the background. The background really doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, as a matter of fact, you could do a chiaroscuro light and shoot the background even lighter if you wanted to. It's just about how that shadow plays on your subject and how that light plays on your subject. So, and then again, you're gonna have to walk the line, and this is where modeling light's gonna come in handy. You're just gonna have to walk that line between like a split light, a Rembrandt light, and then you start getting into your other lighting patterns like a loop light. Like if I was gonna face you directly like this, it's pretty much gonna go like this. It's gonna go split light, Rembrandt light, loop light, butterfly light, just right there in that little range.
You might have just answered this. Could Rembrandt light between light and darkness? Oh, I'm not sure if I'm reading that correctly. Can you look at that?
Yeah, let me see. Someone asked, could Rembrandt light between... hey, Gino, before we sign off really fast, I'm going to start doing the... Hey, thanks, bud. Before we actually sign off of this, I'm going to start signing off and just see if you can clarify your question really fast. But yeah, so we went through how the lighting patterns change everything, how kind of going around stuff is actually going to change how that light hits your subject space. And that's really, really important to pay attention to. Again, that's why you want to use your modeling light if you have one in your light. I didn't necessarily need one on my A10 because I've done this enough that I know where the light kind of falls. So it's lighting patterns, use your modeling light. It's a lifesaver. So we went through, showed you how all that stuff changes it, and that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, did Gino clarify?
Light versus dark. What constant light modifiers are you using? Could Rembrandt light versus dark?
So if you're asking, is this something that can be done with constant or flash? It doesn't really matter. You could do this with a light bulb inside your living room. It's just a matter of light placement. All this lesson is how light placement changes how the light falls on your subject. So if you're asking about continuous light versus like a flash or anything else, it doesn't matter. If you're asking about modifiers, like the lights that we use for here are strip lights, so you can do it just as easily with a strip light. Again, it's about just the placement, so you're gonna have to make sure you just kind of walk it around to where you want to get the light and the shadow to fall the way that you're looking for. So that's it for today. If you have any other questions, if you want to talk to any of our crew about any of our products or any of the stuff that you've seen up on the screen today, if you're watching this on Profoto.com, I think I forgot to say this in the beginning, but if you're watching this on Profoto.com, there's a bunch of stuff flying around the screen. You can click on those bad boys and get more information on whatever products we're talking about. But you can also click the link in the description. I think this is on Facebook and YouTube as well, but you can click the link in the description if you want to jump into like a one-on-one session to talk to Anders or Gibe or me if I'm there. We'll be more than happy to talk to you about anything you want to talk about, so especially if it's gear related. So in the meantime, I hope you have an awesome rest of your week. We have some more cool geared up stuff coming up in the next few weeks. So in the meantime, peace out, everybody. Later.